There's a moment we all dread after 60. It's that sinking feeling. You walk into the kitchen to grab something essential, maybe your afternoon coffee or the keys you swear you just had, and suddenly, your mind goes blank. A complete stop. You stand there, feeling the warmth drain from your face, thinking, is this the beginning? Is this confusion permanent? We worry about memory loss. We worry about dementia. We worry about losing our independence and becoming a burden on our children. That fear is real, and it touches every decision we make about our health, our home, and our money. But let me share something wise. Elders often learn too late, something you need to ask your doctor about before your next appointment. The fog in your brain, that sudden confusion, the difficulty keeping track of bills or following a complex conversation. It might not be the disease you fear. It might be a simple, easily fixable mistake involving 2 pills you take every single day. 2 pills that are perfectly fine on their own, but become quite saboteurs when combined. They are secretly fogging your brain, making you feel clumsy, forgetful, and afraid. Think about the last time you felt truly confused. Maybe you drove past your usual exit. Maybe you mixed up the deposit slips. Maybe you had a close call on the stairs because your footing felt a little unsure. We often chalk this up to just getting older. But that's too easy. We need to look closer. We need to look in the medicine cabinet. The truth is, doctors' appointments are rushed. They see dozens of patients. They rely on their electronic records, but those records often miss one crucial link: how common prescriptions interact with those over-the-counter helpers we grab on a whim. This is especially true if you see specialists for different issues: a cardiologist, a rheumatologist, a primary care doctor. They aren't always talking to each other about everything you swallow. We need to be the quality control. We need to know which combinations are the most dangerous for our cognitive clarity. The first major combination we must discuss involves what I call the tension tamers. Many of us, especially as we age, rely on some kind of medication to help calm the nerves, ease chronic pain, or ensure we get a decent night's sleep. This is Group A. Group A includes many common anti-anxiety medications, muscle relaxants, and some older types of sleep aids. They are designed to slow down the central nervous system. They reduce anxiety, yes, but they also slow down reaction time and mental processing. Now, here is where the danger comes in. If you are taking one of these tension tamers from Group A, the doctor who prescribed it knows it can cause drowsiness. But what about Group B? Group B is where we find many medications for common allergies, bladder control, or even certain treatments for stomach ulcers and Parkinson's disease. These are the drugs that contain anticholinergics. This word is crucial. Write it down if you can. Anticholinergics. Anticholinergics work by blocking a vital neurotransmitter called acetylcholine, which is essential for muscle movement, yes, but most importantly, for learning and memory. Blocking acetylcholine is like throwing sand in the gears of your brain. It slows down thought processes. It makes short-term memory nearly impossible to form clearly. If you are already taking a tension timer, Group A, that is slowing your brain down, and you add an anticholinergic, Group B, for allergies or a nighttime cramp, you are creating a synergy of confusion. You are double-dipping into cognitive impairment. The result is that overwhelming brain fog. It is the dizziness that makes you clutch the railing. It is the muddiness that prevents you from realizing you have overdrawn your bank account. This isn't just about feeling a little sleepy. This is about real harm. When your mind is foggy, your risk of falling, the single greatest threat to senior independence, skyrockets. So your first actionable step is to look at everything you take, every prescription, every allergy pill, every sleep aid, and every stomach remedy. If any of those medications are slowing your system down and also contain strong anticholinergics, you need to talk to your doctor immediately about reducing or replacing one of them. Don't wait for your doctor to ask. You bring it up. You say, "Doctor, are we double dosing on anything that affects my acetylcholine levels? I'm worried about mental clarity." This is the power of being an informed elder. This is how we protect our dignity and our ability to manage our own lives. But the anticholinergics are only half the battle. There is a second combination, one that is shockingly common, often involving medications prescribed for high blood pressure or heart health, that quietly drains your body and your brain of essential resources. This second combo doesn't just fog your brain, it actually steals your energy, making you feel weak and utterly dependent. We will dive into this highly dangerous second pill combo and the simple home remedies you can use to counteract it in our next part. It ties directly into your home safety and your overall physical stamina. You know, we spend so much time worrying about the big medical diagnosis, the heart, the lungs, that we often forget the small daily medications are running a race inside our heads. We discussed the importance of challenging your doctor, and now we must talk about the second great invisible danger. If combination number 1 was about slow, nagging memory loss, combination number 2 is about the sudden loss of control. It's the fog that rolls in fast, often right before a fall. Think about standing up too quickly from your chair, or worse, getting up in the middle of the night to use the restroom. That moment of dizziness, that moment of thinking, wait, which way is the door? For many seniors, that confusion isn't just lack of sleep. It is a powerful chemical interaction happening because of two common types of pills taken close together. This specific risk is focused on things that suppress your central nervous system. We call them CNS depressants. The first type is anything designed to quiet your anxiety, stop a spasm, or help you sleep deeply. This includes certain muscle relaxers, powerful sleep aids, the Z pills, and common anxiety medications. You take one for your aching back, one for your worry, and one for your insomnia. All three are doing the same job, slowing down your brain's processing speed. They dull the edges of your thoughts. Now here is the secret hazard. Your physician may only see their prescription on your chart. They don't always see the other things you are adding on your own, or the prescriptions from the specialist down the street. The second type of pill that creates this dangerous combination is what we often call the dry outs. These are the medications that have anticholinergic properties. They block acetylcholine, a key neurotransmitter needed for muscle contraction, focus, and critically, memory. Why are you taking them? For allergies, for chronic runny noses, for managing an overactive bladder, sometimes even for heartburn. Certain strong over-the-counter sleep aids fall into this category too. They dry you up. Here is the frightening math. When you combine a CNS depressant, the pill slowing your brain, with an anticholinergic, the pill blocking your ability to think clearly, the effect is not additive, it's explosive. It multiplies the confusion, the dizziness, and the reaction time delay. It creates immediate brain fog and increases your risk of falling by more than double. And when a senior falls, it is not just a physical injury. It is often the beginning of losing independence. It leads to the shame of needing constant care, the fear of leaving your beloved home, and the massive financial drain that follows. This is why this awareness is so crucial to your independence and your savings. You must look closely at your medicine cabinet tonight. If you're taking anything for sleep, anxiety, or chronic pain, you must look at whether you are also taking a strong allergy pill, a common cold remedy, or a specific medication for bladder control. Ask your doctor, "Doctor, are any of my medications, including the bladder or allergy pills, on the anticholinergic list, and how does that interact with the sedative I take for sleep?" You must write this down. Use the actual names, anticholinergic and CNS depressants. Do not rely on memory in the moment. Insist on reviewing every single pill with them, even the vitamins and the cheapest drugstore cold remedy you picked up last week. That cold remedy might be the very thing tipping you over the edge into confusion. This wisdom is about protecting your independence so you can keep living your life peacefully in your own home. A clear mind protects your body, and it protects your dignity. A foggy brain is also terrible for your finances. When your thinking is muddy, you miss bills, you make quick, stressed decisions about money, and you are vulnerable to scams. Clarity in health brings clarity to your finances. We want to reduce the risk of those sudden, scary moments of confusion. We want to ensure that every decision you make, whether about paying a bill, signing a document, or choosing a caregiver, is made with your sharpest, most secure mind. This vigilance is how we protect our future. It's a quiet act of self-care. Now that we understand the two major hidden pill dangers, we need to focus on what happens after the visit. You get a new prescription, but what about the old ones? In the next part, we will tackle the great clutter crisis, the dangers of stockpiling old pills, and the single most important and often forgotten habit that protects your home and your health from internal dangers. We have covered the first subtle combination, the pills that dry you out and mix confusion into your daily routine. Now, we must talk about the second major area of concern. This one is about pills that stack sedation upon sedation. It is the double break effect. It is common for those of us over 60 to be dealing with two big battles at once: the need for deep sleep or anxiety relief, and the management of chronic pain. Think about your evening routine. Maybe your hip aches or your knee throbs, and you take a specific pill to calm that pain. Perhaps you also struggle to turn off your mind at night. You reach for a pill to help you sleep deeply, or maybe one of those little helpers prescribed for anxiety or nerve pain. When these two types of medicines meet in your bloodstream, they don't just relax you. They try to put the brakes on your entire central nervous system. They fight over the same pathways. This creates profound brain fog. It's not just being a little sleepy. It is waking up feeling like you're walking through thick water or trying to think through a heavy blanket. This combination of strong pain management pills, especially those that affect the nerves, mixed with sleep aids or benzodiazepines for anxiety, is a serious risk. The danger isn't just forgetting where you put your keys. The real danger is the loss of physical control that follows the mental fog. It's that moment when you get up in the middle of the night to use the bathroom and your balance is suddenly gone. Your footing is unsure. It's the unexpected dizziness that hits you when you reach high into a cabinet, causing you to grab for the counter just to stay upright. These moments are terrifying because they trigger the biggest fear we share: falling and losing our independence. A serious fall is the fastest way to lose the comfort of your own home and run up major hospital bills. Protecting your clarity is protecting your wallet. If you are combining a pill that is labeled for pain or for muscle relaxation with any pill that helps you sleep or calms anxiety, you must ask your doctor this question: are these two medicines multiplying their sedating effects? Am I running a high risk of confusion and falling? You might need both medications, but perhaps the timing needs adjustment, or maybe the dosage can be lowered under professional guidance. Do not accept the confusion, the heavy head, or the dizziness as simply getting older. That might be the double sedative effect secretly working against your independence. This conversation requires you to be very organized. When you prepare for that visit, don't just write down the names of the pills. Write down why you take them and when you take them. Show the doctor the timeline. This wisdom is about awareness, knowing exactly what fuel you're putting in the engine, and when that fuel might be mixed with sand. By asking these two critical questions about the two specific drug combinations we've discussed, the drying pills and the double sedatives, you're taking massive control over your future clarity. But protecting your independence isn't just about what you swallow. It's also about the ground you walk on every single day. The biggest threat to your freedom and peace often hides in plain sight, right in the cozy comfort of your own home. We've cleared the fog in the medicine cabinet. Next, let's clear the physical dangers that are silently waiting to trip you up and strip away your sense of security. This is where we move from worrying about the problem to actively fixing it. We are trading confusion for control. We have spent time identifying the combinations that steal your clarity, the mixtures that make you feel foggy in the kitchen, confused at the bank, or shaky when stepping down from a curb. Now let's talk about the practical action you must take before your next visit to the doctor. You cannot just walk in and say, "I think my brain is foggy." The response might be, "Well, that happens at your age," which is not an acceptable answer. You need specifics. Before you leave the house, write this down on a small card. Bring this card with you. Whether you see the primary care doctor, the heart specialist, or even the dentist who prescribes that pain reliever. The key phrase is, "Doctor, I am worried about polypharmacy affecting my independence. You may have never heard that term, polypharmacy. It simply means taking multiple different medications prescribed by different doctors. When you use that word, polypharmacy, and the word independence, you signal that you are informed and serious about staying sharp. Then ask 2 precise questions regarding any new or existing medication. First, are there any known drug combinations in my current list that specifically increase the risk of cognitive decline, confusion, or falls? Second, can we review this specific medication and discuss whether the benefit still outweighs the risk of the side effect? Is there a safer alternative we could try? If a medication has been helping you for years, it can be scary to consider changing it. But remember, the goal is not just to fix one symptom, it is to protect your whole mind and life. A small gain in one area is never worth losing the ability to remember your grandchild's name. If the doctor recommends reducing or changing a dose, always ask for a clear plan on how to proceed slowly. Never stop a medication abruptly without strict medical guidance. We are aiming for safe, thoughtful adjustments, not sudden shocks to your system. Gaining this cognitive clarity is not just about your health appointments. It ripples out into every corner of your life, especially your home. Think about the connection between confusion and safety. If your mind is clear, you are less likely to miss that low step in the hallway. If you are sharp, you are less likely to leave the stove burner on after making tea. The majority of serious falls seniors experience, the ones that truly threaten independence, happen not because of weak legs, but because of a moment of inattention or sudden dizziness caused by medication interaction. When your brain is clear, your home becomes instantly safer. Consider the simple task of organizing your medications at home. If you are foggy, you might accidentally take your nighttime pill twice, or confuse a morning blood pressure pill with an afternoon supplement. Now imagine doing that organizational task with a clear mind. You are calmer. You set up the weekly pill box correctly. You put the bottles back in the designated spot, not just tossed onto the counter. This small act of focused attention transforms your routine from a risk into a safeguard. And what about your finances? The connection between clarity and security is critical here. We talk often about the fear of running out of money, but just as frightening is the fear of being tricked out of it. Scammers target seniors who are isolated, or critically, those who are mentally impaired or confused. They rely on your lack of focus, your temporary state of anxiety or cloudiness, to slip past your natural caution. When your medications are managed properly and your mind is running smoothly, you are far less vulnerable to those sudden, high-pressure phone calls demanding gift cards or wire transfers. Clarity is your first and best defense against financial fraud. It allows you to pause, to think, and to say, "No, I need to check with my daughter first." Protecting your mind is protecting your wallet, protecting your legacy, and protecting your peace of mind. This confidence also extends to how you handle family relationships. When you're feeling confused or forgetful, it's easy to feel shame. You might hesitate to talk to your children about bills, or you might withdraw socially, afraid someone would notice that you seem a little off. Taking control of your health by demanding a review of those pill combinations is the fastest way to reclaim that confidence. You are setting a standard for yourself. I am actively managing my aging process. This reduces stress not only for you, but also for the family members who worry about you constantly. You are proving that you are capable, aware, and engaged in protecting your own well-being. That is true independence. We started this journey talking about the hidden dangers lurking in your medicine cabinet. We learned how certain interactions can silently steal your memory and poise. We empowered you to talk to your doctor with confidence and specific questions, and we saw how this newfound clarity instantly improves safety at home and security with your money. But cognitive clarity isn't just about what you stop taking. It's also about what you do every single day, often without thinking. We've managed the chemical risks. Now we must address the habits that secretly erode your resilience. There is one critical habit many of us develop as we age, often tied to grief or loneliness, that has a far greater impact on your fall risk, memory, and mood than any drug interaction we've discussed so far. It happens when you are most alone, and it's the hardest secret to break. Next, we are going to talk about the dangers of the silent night. The one routine you absolutely must adjust if you want to safeguard your independence for the next decade.